Yep.
Hello, and welcome to
Oh.
Stream of CREY. 1 second, sorry. There we go. What is playing? Wow! We're double streaming here. Welcome to a live stream from the devs of CREY Games. Today we are going to take a look at some different stuff. Among that is an announcement and a new thing where we have moved to the web front with our main menus, making sharing of your games very easy and for a faster experience. And it's your hosts, Scooten and
hello
Laris.
guys.
We are going to build a platformer today as well and talk about that, and do feel free to ask any questions you might have in regards to what's going on. Welcome to the stream.
So I think first thing we'll do is just run through some of the tools in the editor, just to get everyone on board. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with CREY, we'll just quickly run through the editor, talk a bit about the platform. So just to start with, so CREY is this creative platform that we're developing where you can create your own games and publish your own games directly on the platform without having any experience in coding or in game development. And to do this, we've made this editor, which we're currently looking at. And I think I'll just run through the basic toolset. We might get into some more details later on. But this is sort of an introduction to the whole thing. So as you can see in the top bar here, there's a variety of different tools that you can use. The first one is the terrain tool that you use to sort of shape the environment and shape the terrain. There are a couple of different brushes and stamps, and you can scale them, scale the intensity, decrease the intensity. It's really up to you what you do with it. But it sort of allows you to quickly get something going. And then we have the painting tool, which is like 3D painting brush. We have a couple of different textures, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. Let's try some of the other ones. And again, we can decrease the intensity of these brushes if we want to blend stuff together. So you can see it sort of pops up slowly. And yeah, there's some snow as well, if you want to go with that. It's gonna look super weird, this whole scene, but I mean, it's okay. It's just to give you guys like a general idea of how it works. So we have something now.
Nice.
Next thing is the props, or the assets, as some of you know them as. We have a couple of different ones. We have like decorative assets and then some more gameplay-oriented assets. But let's start with just going through some of the basic ones. We have some of them that we create ourselves. So we found different places. The categories, I'm just gonna pop in a few of them. They can of course be scaled and rotated. You can just dump them in wherever you like, wherever you see fit. Then we have some different ones, some magical forest stuff, some castaway. Putting some mushrooms in here. Glow on that. We also have some third-party providers that have their assets in the library here. So Cincy, BitGem, a couple of different ones. I mean, there's a lot of variety in here, so it's basically just browsing through the library and finding the ones that you think fit into your scene.
Yeah, and as we progress, since it is early alpha, of course, the library will grow, and in the faraway future, we really would love to be able to make it possible for people to import their own models and assets. No ETA on that yet, but it's going to be a place of creativity for people who do enjoy modeling in the private homes and import it to the platform eventually.
So let's talk a bit about like how you create actual gameplay, or how you make things move or animate in the editor. These were the gameplay props that we talked about before. We have some of them set up here, like drag and drop, just to make it a bit easier to get started. This would be an example. These are all boxed, and we'll talk a bit about that later on. But in general, the idea is that we have all these different tools. We have rotators, seekers, animators, hiders, and then a couple of power tools which triggers the effects. So let's do like a really easy one here.
Yeah, this is like Skuden is mentioning. This is the visual programming tool where you actually set a lot of rules and triggers and build the gameplay around it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's,
But just now we inserted the rotator here. What we can do with this mushroom, let's say we want to rotate that for some reason. We basically right click on that, and then we can glue this to the rotator. This means that whenever we move the rotator, the mushroom moves with it. Now this rotator, as with any other of the gameplay props, has like a settings window. You can just double click on it, you can right click and press the settings window. And then you can sort of set the rotation. And you can choose like different speeds. You can go nuts here, make it rotate the other way around. If you want a transition time, let's say 2 seconds, so that when I turn it off, it takes 2 seconds for the mushroom to stop. Restart it. It sort of gives it a more smooth look rotation.
hey Jordan and Willa,
Hey guys.
welcome.
So now let's just apply some simple powering to this rotator. So now we have the sensor. The sensor will send power once the character is inside its proximity. So you can see now like it turns green when the character is inside. So again, we can right click on the sensor and then we can drag power to the rotator. And as you can see, it stops here. But as soon as I move the character inside the sensor, it starts rotating again. So that's sort of like the general idea. Hopefully it makes sense. So
The logic behind
we
it
can
all.
we can just really quickly jump into a session. Just mark this area so we know where the sensor is. I think it's worth mentioning that all the gameplay props they are invisible once you start the game,
Yes.
but visible in the builder.
Yeah.
So you can press 9 on the keyboard, just hit this button up here, playtest, and very quickly we're thrown into the scene that we just built. And now if we run into the sensor here, it's the mushroom is going to start rotating.
Yep.
So we've made some very simple logic here. Again, the idea is that you can sort of build upon these rigs. So let's say we go into the gameplay here and we take out the damage prop here, and let's just glue that to the mushroom. So now whenever the mushroom moves, the damage moves with it. And again, whenever the rotator moves, the mushroom moves with it. So we sort of make this parent gluing system here. Now let's open up the settings for the damage here, and let's increase the amount of damage. We'll just max it out. Put that approximately inside the mushroom here. Just scale it up a little bit, and let's try to play test. And we should be killed when we are hit by the mushroom. So I'll stand out here and wait for the mushroom. If it hits, yeah, it does. So yeah, that was a very simple little setup. Should we look at some other gameplay props just really quickly?
Yeah, we can do that.
Maybe look at the Seeker.
And as we go along, there will be more tutorials for each, so it's easier to see when in doubt what you use those for.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm bringing out the skull to the scene now. I'm just going to scale that up a little bit. It becomes a bit bigger, and put that here. And now again, we'll just glue the skull onto the Seeker. So the way the Seeker works is that when it has power, which it has on by default, it's going to seek towards the character at a given speed. We can tweak the speed in here, and the acceleration time, the turn speed. If you wanted to like not move on certain axes, we'll just take the default settings here. All we've done is basically glued the skull to the Seeker, and when we enter play mode, we have the skull seeking the character. So again, we can apply some like a damage to it, so that we die when we're by the skull.
And you can keep it as a pet if you don't want it to give damage Just
Yeah, you can do that
this
as well.
is your pet skull.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it could. Maybe it's just a pet skull. We can do that also. So I'll just select this mushroom, press H on the keyboard so we hide it, because I want to use this damage area here. So I'll just copy pasted that one. And press H again and you can see the mushroom appears. It's kind of handy when things are stacked on top of each other. So let's just decrease the area a little bit, because the skull is after all smaller than the mushroom. And let's try this again. So we should die when the skull hits us. Yeah. And so you could very quickly make a game with a skull following you around and see how long you can stay alive. Again, it's really up to you how you use these gameplay props and what kind of games and things you want to create. I mean, we are providing some templates, and we're actually going to look at one of the templates soon, just to get you started a bit faster.
Yes.
Maybe one thing we should talk a little bit about is the primitives and boxing.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually love just building their own models. So let's have a look at how we do that. In the library, there's this category called primitives, where you can take out these very basic primitives, basic shapes, and then you can scale them on different sides. So let's say we make a small little tower, just really quickly, and this one now. So this is very, it's not very pretty, but it's just simple, and it's just to show you guys like how it's, thanks. And let's just give this a little bit of color. In the primitives, there's a color picker that you can just use to like select any color that you want. We'll just go with some red, brownish, grayish. Yeah. So very quickly we built a little tower here. Now all these, I use 3 different primitives. They're all sort of individual now, but if we want this to be just one object, we have a system called boxing, which is available in the gameplay section in the library. So if you select these 3 primitives and just press B on the keyboard and then click on the box, you'll notice now that this is actually acting as just one object instead of 3 different objects. So we sort of mashed it together. And this can be quite useful because now we've built this once, and I can just press this box, press Control C, and then we have another instance of it, and we can just stamp it. So we can make as many of them as we want, really. You can also just like select multiple of them, like press Control C, just to speed things up a little bit. But now it's a pretty handy tool because let's say you spend an hour actually building a cool model. Next time you want to use that, you'll actually save an hour because you'll already have it available in the library. Because you can actually save these boxes to the library.
Yeah. And what I really enjoy about it as well is because you have your strengths as a builder, I have mine.
Yeah.
And if you're really good at building or constructing houses and models, but I'm more into actually shaping the terrain, setting the scene.
Yeah.
The fact that I can request or ask if you would like to help me build, so I can use your box, I really enjoy that aspect of the entire platform.
Yeah.
And how you can use each other's creation.
Yeah, definitely.
Big help for me as well.
Actually, good to think about. We should just have a look at the boxing library.
Yeah.
We're in the early alpha, so it's. Just gonna look at the boxing library real quick.
Sorry about that. We are told that our voices were very low and the in-game
Yes, we'll just try and turn that down a
music
little bit.
was
So.
really high.
Hopefully it's better now. If not, please
Write us
let us know.
if we have volume issues, let us know.
Oh, so we were heading into the boxing section of the library. So this is actually a library filled with everything that users have created this far. And as you can see, there are tons of things in here, like everything from Christmas castles to Star Wars fighter jets and all kinds of different things. Let's just like pull out. Let's take this castle here. So this is basically something that a user built, and as you can see, it's made up of a lot of different things, a lot of different assets. A lot of them can be found in the Cincy library here. But since this was boxed, it acts as just one object.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So the time it took the creator of this specific box to do this, I'm actually saving that time every time I paste it in, right? So like eventually it's gonna take you like just a couple of minutes to actually build something that looks cool. Let's see if we can find something else here.
You might build something.
This
that
plane,
you,
for example.
Like you have an idea of what you want to use it for, but someone else might use it for something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting to see what your creations are used for in other games.
Yeah, definitely. So this plane is pretty cool. Like someone built this, and it's made up of primitives. So let's see, like if we open this box here. Yeah, that's another thing. You can actually open these boxes and you can see how they were built. You can see these rotators powering the fan here. We can go into this and say we want to make it red instead.
So you can actually iterate really fast on what others have built.
Yeah.
When you open the box.
And then let's just try to put this somewhere here, and you can open the library really quickly. Find a rotator. Put that here, and we can glue this whole thing onto the rotator. Give the rotator some speed. Oh, that was a little weird, right?
It's a fast plane.
Yeah. Just like this. You just freeze the scene. This is a very handy tool. Just freeze. You can also reset.
Yes.
So everything sort of starts in its frame 0 position. Makes it a bit easier to build sometimes. Let's select these and
hello, Pimple-Limper.
Just dump in a couple of them.
Welcome to the stream.
Let's see how it looks. Let's maybe rotate some of them.
That's a flight show.
It's a bit of a flight show, right?
Yeah.
So now let's take this character, and we can just change the character a little bit. You can go in here in the character chooser and just choose from whatever's available here. Let's take this ghost boy here and jump into it. Oh, we still have the skull. But as you can see, we have the castles in the background and we have the airplanes up here. So rather quickly we got to a point.
Yeah.
Where we have something.
We have set a scene.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we died.
And then you're designing the level. We talked about this as well, with the purpose of what you're actually building. Some enjoy just actually setting the scene, but actually building a game can be quite a process sometimes when you might be unclear of what to do. And the boxes can help a lot, because if I go in and I see one box, the second I see it, I know, okay, I'm gonna build a game that's just evolving around this box.
Yeah.
So it sparks ideas. It's really nice.
So maybe a thing we should do here is just really show what you can do with the environment quickly.
Yes.
We have these world settings that I just went into, where we can change the sun height and we can change the direction of the sun as well. So if you want the shadows to be cast in a different way, we can actually do that.
Yes.
Also the color of the sun can be changed. And again, this is all just from the color picker.
Hey Nikolai, welcome.
You can really do with it whatever you want.
To the
You
stream.
can increase the sun intensity if you want that.
Yes.
The ambient colors as well. You can make it darker or lighter. I think we'll just like stay somewhere in the middle here. And then there's the fog settings, which we can change as well. So we can increase the density. Now we can barely see anything. We can also like change the color of it. And you can get really funky with this. Actually, it's
That setting is quite nice.
which one?
I think it was like the green one. No, the blue. Yeah. Okay.
Blue,
Yeah.
greenish.
See, I like them all. So that's.
Alright, so let's just go with this maybe.
Yeah.
Something like this. It looks a bit strange, doesn't it? I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, so you can really play around with these settings a lot, and it's rather fun, I think.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get exactly what you want sometimes, but there's like so many possibilities. But
Yes.
eventually you end up with something you like, I think.
You've basically spent like 15 minutes just building what. I mean, you've set a scene.
Yeah.
It might be a bit of a mess in your head, but you've set a
I think
scene.
it is.
Like, and now you're placing the nature. It's quite simple to get something going.
We have something at least.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
So I don't know if you should maybe jump into one of the templates to show
Yes.
how that works,
That's a great
and
idea.
so we'll just exit this one.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna save this one. I think we'll just skip this.
Yeah.
Oh,
and this leads us to the web front part actually.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned when we started the stream, we've moved the main menus from the exe, so you don't have to launch the client to see what's happening, and put it into the web. This means that it's easy to update, it's a lot faster, and it's really making sharing as accessible as possible. Very easy to share what you build.
Yeah.
And that's a really big plus when we talk about performance, because we are early alpha, so that is going to help immensely.
So let's try and.
I'm just gonna share actually in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's see. We actually have a post about what's happening with the web front. I'm just gonna put it in the chat. Sorry.
Sure.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that while you.
So
carry on.
I'll just continue. Yeah, we'll try to work with the 2D platformer template. This was requested, so let's try and open that one.
See if this works. Yeah.
So I didn't get around to showing it before, but you can actually like change the camera settings if you insert like a static camera. It has a couple of different settings. It's also a gameplay prop, by the way. Now we just set it to follow, so it's actually going to follow the character movement.
Oh, sorry, the mic is a little low, we're told. If we can turn it up.
Yeah, we'll just turn that up a little bit.
And
Hopefully this helps a bit. Like talk a bit louder as well. Okay, so this is the 2D platformer template, and it's really just meant for you to get started and sort of get the feel and the idea about how you create these types of games. There are lots of different boxes here, as you can see, and they can all be inserted in the scene here. And let's just, I think actually first let's just try to hit 9 and just see like the basic structure of it. If you press 9, we're actually just running like a 2D plane-ish. It's still 3D, but we set the camera to be like a side-scrolling thing, so it follows the character here. So that's the basic setup, and then when you fall down, you should die, and it sort of respawns. Alright, so, and what we can do with this is that we can start adding all these elements to actually create a playable game.
And you can build your own, of course.
Yeah.
And add if you would like.
Yeah. You're very welcome to just build your own modules and just use them here, or change the colors of them. Nothing happens with the template if you do that. It'll still be available and normal to everyone else. So let's just see. Now we just added this cannon, and it should kill me if I run into it. So now we have like the first little trap. And then we'll just go from that.
So now for building a platformer with Scooten.
Yeah, it's gonna be sort of a on the fly thing, so we'll see how it turns out in the end. Hopefully it won't be too messy, but I guess we'll just have to see. I think we'll just grab this one maybe.
Yes.
I'm just gonna place this real quick, and we'll close this info panel. You can just open that whenever you want to. But since we're here to explain everything, I hope that we won't need it.
While you're quickly just building this, I'm just gonna mention just a few words about a feature that is to come. At this point, when we put in a new feature, sometimes it's going to need a little bit of iteration and work to get to a point where it works best for everyone. But the next big feature soon to come is going to be a shooting feature, and we are going to announce it, of course, when it's out. And we are looking forward to see also angling the level design and the games being built around shooting. It's also no secret that we are looking into multiplayer. It's not going to be this Christmas, but it's going to come next year. When is still not for sure, but we will announce that as well. Really look forward to that, to see you battle out with your friends against others.
Just
And you're
that
quickly
one.
moving on.
Yeah, we'll just continue moving on. So as you can see, like I'm building on the grid right now, and it does make it a bit easier to do this kind of thing. Basically, it's like these snap grids up here, both for the rotation. I'm just trying to pull something out so you can quickly see that. So when building on the grid, you can sort of see things snap a bit easier. Also with the rotations, so it gets easier. Like if you want everything to align perfectly. Personally, really like building the games like this.
Hey Blackwood, welcome to the
But
stream.
it's entirely up to you. I mean, a lot of people just don't like using the grid, and that's perfectly fine. Not using the grid sort of makes things look a bit more misaligned, which can be a really cool look, especially like when placing trees or like polish in general. But like personally, for the like core mechanics, core gameplay, I really like using the grid.
Sorry, Krille, I didn't see. Do you have an ETA on Mac/Linux? Linux? No, not at this point. Sorry. It is not on the current roadmap. That doesn't mean that we haven't talked about it, or it might happen. But there is currently no ETA on it. Again, it's when it's a reality that it's going to be worked on. I'll open up for actually saying that I wouldn't dare until, or I will get killed by programmers. So no, there is no ETA right now. I'm sorry about that. But hopefully one day, who knows? We are looking into porting to different platforms. So that's the go-to for now during this time in the early alpha.
So I'm just waiting for the boxing library to pop up here.
Yes. Oh, this is a good chance to say that we are working on faster load times.
Yeah. Yeah. I think especially the boxing library is having some.
Oh, you're setting the background for the.
Yeah, we'll just pop in a little background here because, like, actually one thing that I'm just gonna disable the grid for this. Actually, for this kind of thing, like these 2D side scrollers, I really think having some background to give it like an extra depth, like an extra dimension, it really does help a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll just change these trees a little bit. I'm a big fan of the pine trees in here, so
Yeah.
we'll try and add those instead.
Hey Jordo. Yes, those features are going to be very, very interesting.
Just gonna dump in these trees here.
And the sharing of the game with just a simple URL link that you can share is just going to make it a lot faster to go directly to what you build.
Yeah, and also like share with your friends. And,
Yes.
and all that. It's gonna be a lot easier.
We should actually finish off with sharing the
Yeah,
link for,
yeah, we
for
could do
what
that.
you're building now.
Yeah.
So it's easy to come in and set a score. We are currently experiencing some issues with the leaderboards. It's being looked at. It's going to be fixed. Will also be in the patch notes on the subreddit and the Discord and the website in the community section. So do keep an eye out for that.
Just quickly placing a couple of mushrooms here and see if it does anything. So let's try now. So pretty quickly you can sort of see we got like a different vibe here, just by adding a bit of background, a bit of depth, and of course putting all the all the tiles instead of having that white background.
Yes.
You might do that with Canon as well. We'll just wait a little bit. See, we have a floating tree out there.
Into the void.
Oh. Alright. It's just me being terribly bad.
Guan Plus, hey guys, can you talk a little about the sounds or music in CREY? Would love to see some more levels with cool sounds and music. Actually, we do have a sound prop in the gameplay section where we have a long list of various sounds.
We can have a quick look at it now. It's there it is. Audio. Oh, we actually have one already.
Oh, wow.
So this one in here, you can open up the audio. You can go into the sound here, and then fortunately right now it's all just one big drop down, so it's it's gonna take a while to find exactly what you need.
Yes, it's a long book.
We're working on this to improve this, to make
Yeah.
it more like the actual library, so it's easy for you to browse through different sounds and ambience and sound effects
Yes.
and music tracks. As a general rule of thumb, right now you can find all the music tracks at the bottom, and there are lots of different stuff here you can choose from.
Yes.
And then the rest is sort of a bit of ambience, a bit of different sound effects right now.
I think the future of the sound
have this
design
one right now,
is talked about having a library for
Yeah.
the sounds, making it a lot easier to.
Yeah, we're currently
Index
discussing
and search for.
the best way to do this,
Yes.
but definitely we'll make it easier.
Yeah. For sure.
We'll just hide this cannon still a little bit, just to sort of make it match the whole theme, just a bit to begin with. So yeah, I'll just continue building a little bit.
Yes.
Whoops.
We've had some
change the
requests for various skyboxes from the community. Some would like to see a completely black skybox, which they prefer when they're building. And we have other requests like massive clouds and various stars and stuff like that, planets. If you do have any requests for stuff like that, do drop it in the Discord.
Yeah, we might also
and-
just we can show a bit of different skyboxes actually.
Yes.
So if you press on the world settings, just F4 and go to the environment tab, you can see there this setting here on the sun called Sky Dome.
Yeah.
And we can actually just change that. We have a couple of different ones. I think we could, like in general, if you want just one color, you should go with the nothingness, because it's really just nothing. So now it's completely white, but if we jump in here again and go to the fog setting, we can actually like crank up the density here, and then we can just change the color of the fog. So you have to choose linear fog here. Then on the fog color, you can just change it to whatever color you like. And try to go with this real quick, and you'll see results already. So I mean that's one way to sort of customize the color of it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play around with the world settings a lot.
Yeah.
I've spent way too much time on that, completely turning into a game of its own, just getting where I want to with that setting. Yeah.
You can also make it a bit
really
darker
nice.
here.
Purple sky.
Yeah. Or red sky, or yeah, let's just go with something a little bluish here. So what you can also do, we actually forgot to talk about that, is you can change the water. Again, it's under world settings, and if you go to water here, you can see you can change the height of the water. So you can, oh, we just have to tick it on first. Might be an idea. So you can actually, you can drown the whole level, you can like just remove it entirely, but let's just go with something like this.
You can give it like small waves. You can give it depth color.
Yeah,
like,
you can change. You can change
smooth and
a bit here. You can also change like the translucency, or the transparency, you could call it. And just really just play around with it until you find something you think is cool or funny.
Yeah.
Let's try something like this. All right. So now the water should be visible. Oh, we might just raise it a little bit so it's visible just right from the start. We turn that up to something like this. Just see a little edge down there. Yeah. And already, just after a little while, you can see we already have like a custom feel to this. We sort of made it our own really quickly.
And
Oh.
is that a rat? Is it a dog?
I actually don't know what it is, but it looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, you could actually.
I know someone who has a cat that looks like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who because you know, but.
Oh, it's like boxes and boxes in this one. Yeah, but I mean, you can always do that with the boxes. Just jump into them, see how they were made. Funny little guy. Alright, so we'll just add a bit more of this. Like we probably won't be done entirely with this today. Hopefully we can
Yeah,
get
but
far.
that's the cool thing, right? Because you build this, you can publish it, you can share it. The link you publish when you want to share what you've built with others for them to just go directly to your game and creation. The link is not going to change if you go in and you want to change something and save it again and add something. The link will remain the same, so you can quickly just jump into the editor of an existing game that you've published, simply edit around, the link will remain the same, and it's that simple. So the iterating when shared is actually an option, which makes it fast and really nice.
So we'll just place a couple of towers here, maybe just a little bit for the background,
Yes.
and see how that feels. It's probably
It's also a nice feel to have the
probably
terrain
alright.
overlapping the platform just a little bit, like you've done on that
oh
section.
yeah, like on this one.
It looks
Just
cool.
do a bit of that here. Just
Yeah.
take it down a bit, and drag some of it into this.
Merge of the
Let's go down here.
It's like we talked with a builder called Lasse who made the Black Mage game, like that 2.5D feel to the side scroll platformer. It's
Something like this,
it's nice.
and just add a couple more tiles here. Let's say this is 4.
So what Schoon is doing is just basically you can select and you can copy paste to save time for setups, or you can drag and multi-select objects if you would like to.
Yeah.
It's
Just
pretty
clean up that.
forgiving to work with.
Just do like this, and just hide that corner. Should probably do it here as well. Yeah, I'll just add a couple more here.
I don't know if it's by my
Scale
request,
a little
or,
bit.
but I would. Nice trees. Thank you. Yeah, those are your go-to trees.
Yeah, that's a go-to trees.
The pines.
It definitely is. I love the pines.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all love different trees, I guess. Like I'm a pine kind of guy, definitely.
Yes. We all love different trees.
Yeah,
You
that-
heard it here first.
yeah.
Yeah.
It could change, but for now I'm rooting with the pines.
Yeah.
Alright, just cover that up a little bit. Let's do that really quickly
have-
over here as well.
I don't know. It's the water. Would it be possible to put in fish? Would you even notice them at this height?
Yeah, I think actually that would be a pretty cool little detail. So let me just place this first, and then we'll add a couple of fish.
Yes.
So let's just look. Yeah, we could have some like maybe we could even have fish just following us everywhere we go. So let's say we pull out the seeker so that we actually have some fish following us.
Hello, Genpai. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, if you're just tuning in now, this is CREY, and it's a platform where you actually build and publish games or play games made by others. This stream today, we are building a platformer. Actually, I'm just sitting on the sideline here. Scootin is building. Using a template in CREY, and then we are going to publish and share the link so you can see how that works. It's pretty simple.
So what I'm doing now is just gluing these fish to the seeker, and we need to change like these axes here to restrict it to only move on this one axis along with the player. Otherwise you'll see something like this where we have fish just following us around on the ground here and pushing us around as well to have this collision. So that's definitely not gonna work. Now if we put, to begin with, we can put an axis restriction on the y-axis, which is in this case the vertical axis. Okay, it's difficult to see now but they jumped into the terrain here. But you'll be able to see them now. So they can't really move up and they can't move down because we've restricted that axis. So now we just need to find the other one, and I'm actually I'm not sure if it's this one or the other one, but it's trial and error sometimes.
We can swap around. Sorry, there are some different characters. Like Polar, the Explorer girl, has been added recently. We do have some different characters that we can like toggle and show.
Go in here and click on the character. Click to change character.
Yeah.
We can take a couple of different ones. Might as well just show off this guy.
Let's just get it over with.
Yeah, right.
Show off.
Yeah, you all know who this is. So let's hit 9.
And then you know you're bound to fail the level when you use that.
Oh, and now you can actually see that the fish are looking at us, and that's again a setting that we forgot to disable in the Seeker. So if we open the Seeker again and just disable the look at, turn that off, then we should be fine. All right. Now again we need to like actually put them in the water, unless we want this floating fish. Let's scale them up a little bit. Put them down here and see if it makes any sense. Yeah, so we have these fish following us.
It's kind of creepy.
It's kind of creepy, but what we can do, just to make it look a bit cooler, is actually give it some acceleration time here. So actually, let's just put this to like 8 seconds. Otherwise, it'll be below us at all times. But you can see it will take some time like to accelerate now. Right. All right, they're actually swinging backwards, but we'll just
no, but this is a new species of fish.
Just yeah,
they have no problem with doing that.
All right, and you can see they're sort of catching up. Yeah. All right.
Oh, can you try to take the Explorer girl? Whoa!
Oh,
that's because you don't reach the damage at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll just we can just change that whole damage thing. We can insert some new damage areas.
Yes.
So that so let's say we have this. So we want the characters to die when he falls down into the water. We'll just place this like approximately here. Maybe increase the area a little bit. And then we can open this up and just max out the amount of damage the character takes, and he should be dead immediately. So you can really just go in and tweak this and change this. Just like this. Alright. That should do it.
That's regular walk, falling into the water.
Oh, yeah, let's just try and fall down, see if it works. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Oh, could you try to switch to the Explorer?
To the Explorer girl?
Yeah,
of course.
Just to see her recently added. Really cool.
It's the Polar girl.
Yes.
There she is. So let's try and run with her.
As we move along, of course, more characters will come. So it is. Oh, the info panel is.
Oh, yeah, we'll just let down.
More characters will, of course, be available. If you do have any requests for that, do let us know in the chat or in Discord. Would be appreciated. We have a lot of community requests at this point. Oh, you're placing pickups?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thought I'd add a bit of those. Alright. Yeah. And I really recommend just also getting used to actually using the copy paste.
Yes.
Because it's just going to save you a lot of time in the end. I don't even know if I can. Yeah, maybe we can do this.
Oh, so you need to jump to get it. Yeah. That's an option.
Alright, so something like this.
That looks good. Oh.
See if it works.
Yeah. But that's the problem for me. Oh. I have this thing where I need to collect everything I see.
Yeah.
Even if it means not completing the level. So I'm stuck in this endless loop. Oy.
Yeah, we did.
You can disable the double jump. You can change all the character settings in the character. The jump time, how fast you run, double jump, hang time, everything.
We can have a look at that actually.
It's actually an option
So,
to go in and tweak.
So if we open up the starting point here, There's a variety of different settings that controls the character. You have hit points, run speed, acceleration time, and jump height. Do you want to bluff shadow or not? Double jump, on and off. So it's really up to you to customize the mechanics of the character. Let's just, for the heck of it, try to increase the run speed. And maybe I will wait with the jump height, right? One thing at a time. So as you can see, we're running really fast now. It didn't really help, but so you can do like these speed runs. Well, again, it's really up to you what you do with it. We'll just provide you the sort of the option just to allow you to do it this way. Okay, it gets really difficult to control.
But it also opens up for different game design.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you do have one where you
does.
just maximize the run speed, you might want to change the approach to what you're doing. It wouldn't work that well on this level, I guess.
No, I mean it could be fun. I mean,
yeah, it could.
just,
you skip like big chunks
yeah.
if you do it like that.
But basically, you have to think like if you increase the run speed in a game like this, you really have to increase like the gaps here.
Yeah.
So it becomes wider gaps.
Yeah.
So it's really like getting into the whole timing of the character versus the environment.
Yeah.
But it's something. It's all trial and error, and I think that's one of the fun things about this whole thing. Like you set out to do something, and usually the first time it doesn't work, but that's okay because like the more you work with it, you sort of figure it out, and eventually you solve this problem, and it's really rewarding, and
Yeah.
and it's cool to be able to build sort of the games that you want to build. So let's increase the jump height real quick, just to show that. Oh, okay, we actually jump out of the camera, but you can see it's really you can tweak it in all different kinds of ways.
Yes.
We'll not do that for this particular game, but I actually feel like the run speed could be increased a little bit. Just crank this down to, I don't know, like 4 or something.
Is it the shortest time?
Oh, that's way too high still. Yeah, I guess it would be shortest time or most points, depending on like where we go with it.
That's up to you. So if you're a success for criteria for like the leaderboard, the high score set, you can change that to be longest or shortest time or points.
Oh, so bad.
So it depends on what you feel like makes sense for your game.
So now, what are we looking at here? Maybe these would be fun.
Yes.
We should just take both of them, I think. Just select both of them.
Actually, we also have a game published today called Tiny Adventure, where it doesn't really matter if it's fast or if it's a long time or points. It was like a puzzle adventure feel to it, which is really nice to see the different genres you can work with. Oh yeah, so you're setting up the addition.
Yeah, might as well. And just
Yeah.
maybe increasing the height a little bit.
What you need to do if you
that works.
need a start point and you need a game completed point to actually be able to finish the game you play. If not, you're simply gonna run around and there will be no end to the game, no finish. But we'll get to that after the setup, just to show it.
We'll do that really quickly. It's me. I'm just gonna add a couple of tiles to these.
No rush. It's Friday.
It's Friday after all.
We're
isn't
gonna
it?
build.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like this one actually.
So now what I actually have to do with all these is since we have like this object is moving,
Yes.
so I need to glue these. So I'm just gonna select all of them as I did here. Press G on the keyboard, and I can glue all of them simultaneously. So now that when we well, all right, that's what I thought.
That never happened.
That never
You
happened.
never saw that.
So we'll just unglue these, and
Oh, maybe it's because the box needs.
it is.
Yes. All right.
I need to actually open the box first.
Yes. We had to crunch
Which
the problem.
does make sense. Alright, so here it is. So let's take all of these again. You can just press Control if you want to select multiple objects, which is what I did here. Just press G again and just glue them to something. And now... Yeah, now it works. Beautiful.
Amazing.
So let's do that really quickly before we add the ending
these are some of the behaviors where, as you slowly start to build, you realize how it works with like what's intuitive, what's not. We're still looking into what is like here. You need to actually open the box to be able to glue it and have it behave as you would expect. I think this function is really nice. What Skun could do now was basically just box this as an entire new object and add it to the library, and it would be available for all of you immediately to build and use in what you would like to.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I think that we might just throw in the ending point here.
Yes. Simple copy paste.
Very simple here. And let's just place that. Does it fit? Yeah, it sort of fits, right? Yeah, just give it a little double jump here in the end. Let's throw some tiles in that, and do a bit of background after. Was it the big one here? Yeah.
And then just like big red dragon. Just no, wait, we don't have big red. We actually do have someone who's built out of just sculpting terrain, a wyvern and dragons.
Oh yeah, that was so cool.
Really, really awesome. Can actually be found in the play section on playcrey.com, where you can see the entire sculpting. Really well made.
Alright. Just okay, we need to go a bit up here. Something like this. And maybe like a little forest here, maybe that's where we end things. Alright. So
glorious ending.
Let me just paint this real quick. This. Gonna add some trees over here.
Could you just, for my sake, take one other tree?
I'm really, I'm not much for it, but
you and your pine trees.
Alright, we'll do it.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what trees I like.
Which ones do you like?
I actually like them all, but if you
where are we going?
Where are we going? Yeah, let's go into the magical forest. See, and the maple tree is nice. Will it fit the scene? See, those are the questions.
Well,
I just
let's add this giant tree here.
Thank you very much. Now that.
How about that?
See, I just went from maybe playing the game to definitely playing the game and sharing it.
Alright, so we'll do that, and let's see. We have this wonderful fern somewhere. Yeah, here it is.
A wonderful fern, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so for those of you that are unaware, like I'm really a big fan of ferns.
See, that's
just love building with ferns. Like I really do. I mean, it's
yes. Well, whatever floats your boat. I guess I really like that nice tree you put there in the background.
Is this too random? To just throw in a little.
I don't know. Maybe if we put something that would like poke its head out and try to eat you.
Could be skull maybe. Just hide a little skull in here.
Yes.
You know what we can also do? Oh wait, I need to remove this one. Let's show in the gameplay. Let's take the animator out of the gameplay library.
Oh yes, that's a nice gameplay prop.
And let's just unfreeze this whole scene. Alright, so that looks strange, but we can just take the shake.
Yeah, as the name indicates, you're basically giving an animation to the targeted prop or object, and
let's put this to 1 maybe, just make it like super angry.
It's like a wasp being caught in a
like
glass on a hot summer day.
5 here.
Yeah, that looks
like
great.
Like a super angry skull here, right? How
Something is off. You want to get out of there.
And
out of there.
I'm wondering, like, maybe these ferns would just look cool in the water in the background. But maybe that's just me.
Those ferns.
Add like giant ferns.
Alright. The fern game.
It's the fern game. Always want ferns. Maybe one more tower. Let's do that.
Sauron.
Alright. And we'll just place this here. Just add a bit more terrain.
Oh, I think it's because the info panel is actually forced to open when you enter the template initially. So that's why when you go from the playtest to the editor, it's just gonna force open it.
Should we do a little path here just to make it?
Yes, Nikolai. Only by imagination. That's the limitation. And some days, you know, you feel very limited.
Yeah.
But you have no imagination, and other days you just need to open up and get going with building. It's like when you have a good idea, you need to write it down, or you forget it the next day.
Let's try and add a couple more. Sorry for only using these mushrooms. Just I guess I got used to it. Can throw in a couple of other mushrooms. We have some in the magical forest.
Yes, I think we actually added to the Venus flytrap a damage prop, or is that something you need to add manually? I can't remember.
Actually can't remember.
Okay.
Trying to have a look after.
I think it was maybe boxed by a builder where it was added.
That could be.
No, those are really nice.
Just play a couple of pink shrooms. I'd like pretty heavy contrast, but we'll just do with it.
Yeah, but it's your design. You can do what you want to.
Yeah, true. So we'll just freehand, like instead of using the grid, I'm just gonna place these quickly. I don't even know if like something like this would work.
Oh yeah.
If I were
because yeah, that would
able to
also
align
give
that.
an incentive to actually use the platform instead of some would do a double jump to just skip it entirely. So it might be a good idea.
Yeah, just
if you
need
want
to
them to use it.
Bit better aligning this, so something like this.
Yes. You might. Yeah. Okay.
Alright,
That you can only reach.
jump a
from the
little bit here.
platform.
Yeah. Actually need to pull them out a little bit, these two. Let's just do that. Let's skip this one. And I think a lot of the times it's really about like finding an angle that's comfortable for you to work with. I use these very odd angles sometimes. Some people like only use one angle, but I mean it's really up to you again.
And it's also
Find out how
like-
you prefer.
And it's a behavior and habits, because at first I didn't use the grid at all, and I would find some situations would just it was nearly forced upon me that it would help
Yeah.
so much to use the grid. So yeah, I have a hard time building specific genres like this one without the grid. Makes it so much easier.
So I mean, if you just have a quick look at it now, we've sort of transformed the whole 2D template into something that we just like made up on the go. It didn't take a long time. I mean, you could spend hours in this, but I think it's really a good idea to start getting used to the templates, start working with them,
Yes.
because they'll also teach you a bit about like how these things are set up. Like if you open the boxes and look into them, it's a good idea to do that. I think to get started. I'll just do a bit of polish in this terrain, just to make it a bit more. I don't even know if that helped, but just sometimes it can look a bit too chunky. So just
Yeah, you might not notice everything when you play the game because it's behind the platforms, but setting the scene with the terrain shape tool is really rewarding. It feels so nice to work with.
yeah, like at least like the way I usually do it is just start off with like the basic shapes, sort of what we did here with the cylinder, and then afterwards sort of go in and make like little dents and do small tweaks to it, just to make it look more organic, almost.
Wow, I must say, nice trees you've picked for this game.
Oh.
Good sir. Are
Thank
those
you.
pine trees?
Yeah, they are.
Oh well, see, that's
And how we love the pine trees,
quality pine trees.
Alright, stand so we can like live with that. What you can do also, actually you can see that if we want to have some flowers, like some foliage here, we can again go to the world settings here, hit the environment tab, and you can go into terrain, like terrain material, and select material 1. They will be in order. Let me just show you, like, so you have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, if we jump in here, the terrain materials, and we press on randomize, nothing happens. Alright, so oh, sorry, it's the,
alpha. Oh, there we go.
yeah, it's the,
Something
the
happened.
density
Yeah.
has to sort of pop up here, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
okay, we can have a lot of that.
Too bad it's not small pine trees, huh?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, I'll stop now. I'll stop teasing
If only-
with the pine trees.
All right, so we'll just
I think they're
we'll
beautiful.
take the blue flowers here because it looks a bit magical, I think.
Yes.
And isn't that what we're going for?
That's exactly what.
And no magic without the glowing mushroom. So we'll place just a couple of those. Hopefully they'll be somewhat visible. Do we have the, yeah, we can put one here. A little mushroom here. Scale that up to fit the big tree. And maybe have one there. And let's just close this again and add another one of those, right? And then
We're there.
I think we're there.
And then we're okay. So it's coming to an end, and we are going to have this game published, and we are simply just going to grab the share link and
share it.
yeah, man, we're gonna share it with the share link.
Alright, so we got it almost done here. And let's just work a bit with these edges. Just to make it look real. And yeah, you guessed it. More pine trees. There we go.
Not bad.
And let's try to give this a play through.
Right, I'll be at playcrate.com waiting for the demo to be published.
Oh,
What happened?
yeah, I just died.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
just try again.
Well,
You can see we have ferns in the background. We have. Can I do this?
no.
Alright.
Five
Step this up a little bit.
hours later.
Yeah, sorry. Nope. Wait for it.
That's stubborn.
Yeah.
Very
You
stubborn.
can see we actually still have the
What?
fish following us around down there.
Oh wow.
Okay, I
you
missed
one.
that.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore that for now.
Yeah. And we have the skull there, the angry skull.
Looks amazing. It's Murray from Monkey Island.
Ah,
Oh wow, that could have been disaster.
Okay, we'll just wait here. And
Now is your time to shine.
and there we go. Alright.
A score of
So-
410.
Yeah,
Not bad. Not bad.
not bad.
Alright, so
I guess we will do the like fastest time on this one.
oh yeah, that's a good idea.
I think.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's nice. If you feel like you both want the fastest time and most points, you could actually add a badge to it. So there is
Oh
an
yeah, like if you
achievement.
get all the points.
Yeah, if you get all the points, you get a badge, you get an achievement. That is an option to do.
Yeah. Oh, shit, we have to
Um,
count all these.
Oh man,
10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11,
we need a waiting tune.
12,
Big counting going on. Big counting. It's happening. It's happening.
Alright, so I think it's 41.
41.
But we'll just set it to 40, just in case.
Just in
I think,
case.
right?
Yeah, no.
So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna
Count.
first we're gonna count. So we'll set a counter somewhere where we can remember its position. Let's just say that's here, and we'll set it to count pickups. You can count different things like how many times you've died or like the score you have, but we'll just do pickups and we'll set the trigger types equal, and then we'll write 40 here. So when it's equal 40, then you'll get the badge, which is here, also a gameplay prop. So the counter, when it counts 40 pickups, it's gonna now send power to the badge.
Activate it.
Yeah, and we'll just say the name of this is you got no all like I don't
Pickup master. Or
Pickup.
Point something.
pickup master.
Yeah.
That could be something else.
That's
Couldn't
the thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And we'll just like take the default badge icon.
Yeah.
Text. You got all the pickups.
Woo.
We think.
Great. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was.
No one really knows at this point.
And we want to save that progress, so that you get to keep the badge, and then that should work.
Yes.
Um,
So you can actually just customize your own badge.
yeah. And I think I think this is it.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So time to actually save.
Yeah, just one
The
more
game.
fern and
Did you-
we're good,
oh
right? Alright,
my
there we go.
God, you're pushing it. Okay. So
So should we just like take us, like just use this, maybe as a screenshot? Would that be cool?
yeah, I think that's a great screenshot.
Should we, yeah?
Yeah.
Something
So
like this.
Basically, right now, when you save it, the first save you do of your game, it keeps that as the thumbnail. And that also means that it makes sense if you have a thumbnail where you feel like, okay, I just sculpted a dragon, and you should actually just, if you have a file of a really nice dragon, you just upload that and it uses that for your game. So it's a lot easier. We are looking into actually having a screenshot tool in CREY, and when we have that, it's going to be a lot easier to just angle your shots for your thumbnails for the games.
So I'm just wondering, like, if we should change the character back to like good old man.
No.
No?
No.
Alright.
No.
Alright. We'll keep it.
Yeah.
We'll keep it.
I think
This
it's
is super.
It's a perfect choice.
Yeah. Alright. Let's hit
Save the game.
the menu up here and save the game, and we will call it something.
The Fern platformer.
The Fern platformer. Alright. The Fern.
The pine tree platformer. I don't know.
Yeah. The Fern pine. The pine fern
The pine
forest. The
See, naming of your level it's a big it's playing an RPG. The most time is spent actually making the character, not playing the game.
the pine
The pine.
fern.
Yeah, this is
Forest.
going places. Yes,
How about that?
that is
Alright.
that is Christmas right there.
So we'll call it that.
yes,
The pine fern forest,
great.
and
stuff.
we'll just save that.
Waiting
Yeah.
and waiting. Crossing fingers.
Yeah. And there we go.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and then we should just be able to exit here and go to my games. So this was the one we built last time, but this time we're building the pine fern forest.
Yes.
And then we will publish it.
All right. So you see, simply
And
what's happening here is
We can actually go in here. Or maybe like we can just share it.
yeah,
I'll
actually, we should go to.
Okay, you just
actually-
maybe you can do that.
Yes. If I go to.
Oh, I might have forgotten to set the it's the fastest time.
Oh, okay. See, that's the cool part. So you
So
can
I'll just we'll
quickly
just do
edit.
that real quick.
When you get stuff like that, you just go in and edit. Meanwhile, I'll go to playcray.com and I go to the play section. Where did you publish it or just?
I didn't publish it yet, I think,
Okay,
because
well-
we'll just take the fastest time.
All right.
Like we're still having these issues with the
Seconds.
still having a bit of issues with the leaderboard, but we're aware of that. So hopefully, like it should be working. Nonetheless, we set it to fastest time now. Just, hit that save. The pine fern forest.
Okay, the Pine Fern Forest. Oh, you actually did publish it.
Oh yeah, okay, I did publish
That's
it.
nice.
Well, I'm gonna
Just gonna
unpublish and republish. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you make changes to a level that you've already published,
Yes.
in order for those changes to apply, you actually need to unpublish the level first and then publish it again.
Yes.
Otherwise, the changes won't apply. And this is sort of done so that you can like work on doing changes while still having the level public without like ruining it. And then when you feel like you're ready to republish,
Like an
the game,
updated
just
version
do
or
that.
something. And
Yeah.
you might need some days or weeks or months to
So-
look into it.
we'll just unpublish it
Yes.
and publish it.
Yes. Wow. How did it feel publishing that amazing platform?
It felt pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
That's because you know I'm gonna set the high score.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in here to play CREY. I'm just gonna share the link in the Twitch chat. Let's see if it's here. Yes, the
It should
Pine
be.
Fern Forest. I'm gonna open this one.
Let's just give it a
Gonna
play
go to
here,
the
see if I can
I'm gonna
set a
click
decent score.
Share. I'm gonna copy the link. I'm gonna paste it in the chat. And do let me know if that link redirects you to the Fern Pine game. Awaiting answers. Anxious,
let's see.
excited. On my way.
I forgot to this one.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna
wow.
need that badge.
That was very skillful.
Yeah, definitely need to work on my platforming skills.
I think so. We covered a lot of ground with both what's to come, what's happening, and build a platformer. And you published it, and it was shared, and it's about an hour or so.
Yeah, something like that. I
Yes.
think. Yeah, actually, not actually an hour because I spent some time.
Yeah.
Something like
And
that.
now that being said, it doesn't mean that like it has to be a short building session. I mean, I've spent weeks, possibly a month, on and off building games sometimes. So it's just that this is an option. When you use the templates, it can be really helpful. Wow. See, that's
Yeah, I got to pick up.
you got your own badge,
Yeah.
and you have wow.
All right, and we set.
1 minute and
First
11
leaderboard.
seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really up to you, like what you do with it.
Yes.
Now, hopefully, you understand sort of the basics.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should be all set and ready to go.
Yeah. Go to
Give it a go,
CREY. Click the links below the stream if you want to join the Discord or check out on the Twitter or subreddit. Feel free to join or follow, ask questions, requests, whatever. And thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a great weekend.
And a high five for your firm
Yeah, thanks.
That was amazing.
Cool. But we'll see you all next time, guys. And remember to tune into the Discord if you have questions or want to learn some more. So
Next Friday at 4 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you, guys.
see you.
Bye-bye.